At Gastech this year in Singapore, Simon Flowers, the Chairman and Chief Analyst at Mackenzie, led a Leadership Roundtable discussion on decarbonisation. Simon, it's great to see you. How was your day?
I've had a great day. I got off the plane yesterday flying in from the UK, not feeling quite of this time zone, but as soon as I had my first meeting at 8 a.m. this morning, I was right in the zone and I've stayed there all day.
Well, that brings me neatly to my first question. You've been chairing and moderating one of the most important leadership roundtable discussions today. The title was Defining a New Agenda for Decarbonisation with Urgency, Leveraging Creative Models of Collaboration for an Accelerated Journey to Net Zero. In a nutshell, what was the mood in the room? What were your key takeaways?
It's quite a mouthful, that title, but basically it was about how do we collaborate, how does the industry collaborate to speed up decarbonisation. So as the first roundtable, you're always a little bit concerned, are things going to go well, are people got out of bed the right side that morning? But it went really well. We had a tremendous array of different segments of the value chain in gas, government ministers, service sector, producers and developers of gas, and the buyers, and really everybody contributed. And we had a zinging conversation where people had different points of view. There was a general feeling that things are going a little bit too slowly and need to speed up. And it was a very pertinent point because this session was organised by ADIPEC, who have their own conference next month. And we know at ADIPEC, as a precursor to COP28, the whole industry needs to get its act together and speed things up. They need to collaborate more. So it was a good starting conversation towards that goal.
What do you think might make the boat go faster? What do we need to do?
Well, one of the points that was made is that carbon markets need to develop more quickly. And very simply, we need carbon prices all around the world, certainly in the developed world. It can't just be Europe with its carbon border adjustment mechanism. There's got to be more of that. That's going to be a really effective tool. And we've written about it in our latest Horizons piece, which will be out next week. So do look out for that.
I certainly will. We sit here in Singapore. Remind us, why does Asia matter so much in every conversation that we're having about energy?
Well, number one, because there are so many developing economies here, population growth is rising. Number two, because so much energy here is produced by coal for the power sector. And that's fine, but of course it's highly emittive. And gas, here we are at Gastech, is going to be an absolutely critical part of the energy transition, pushing coal out of the power mix, replacing with lower intensive gas, and particularly gas that has carbon capture and storage. So there's both growth in the markets and there's also a great opportunity for gas to offer this lower intensive fuel.
There are some very young coal plants out there, and there might be a resistance perhaps by some to retire them early, especially if they have 20, 30 more years to go.
We need to slow down building coal, if not stop building coal. So I think it's super pertinent for new coal plants. It's harder if they're young, but we need to find a way to make those even efficient by modern standard coal plants. We need to make them less carbon intensive by bringing carbon capture and storage to them.
As you mentioned, you flagged up ADIPEC taking place in Abu Dhabi, and just after that we have COP28. I'll see you at both, but what do you hope are actionable steps to take from Gastech to ADIPEC as a runway to COP?
Well, there are certain things the oil and gas industry can do faster, and Dr. Sultan of ADNOC has highlighted these in his 8 points, and I'd bring to bear flaring, methane reduction. These are really easy things, or relatively easy things that the oil industry can do, and do by 2030 in a relatively short period of time. So I'd like to see strong progress there.
And there we have to leave our conversation, but thank you very much for speaking to me. I'll see you soon in the UAE.
Thank you, Rebecca.
If you enjoyed that interview, there's plenty more like it to be found on YouTube and LinkedIn. You can also find full coverage of Gastech 2023 at gastechevent.com. I'll see you again next time. Take care.